Let's imagine, if you will, a peaceful kingdom bustling with life, its citizens diligently working to keep everything functioning. Suddenly, one of the inhabitants turns rogue and starts wreaking havoc. This isn't a fairy tale. It's an everyday story that unfolds within the body's microscopic kingdom, a battle between cells and what we call cancer. The fair questions that emerge are, what is cancer? And why can't our bodies always vanquish it? Cancer is a complex and multifaceted disease that emerges when corrupted cells within your body begin to multiply uncontrollably. It can originate from various types of cells, giving rise to hundreds of different types of cancer. To comprehend the nature of cancer, we must delve into the fascinating world of cellular biology. Within your body, each cell possesses a nucleus filled with DNA, a repository of genes that contain instructions for building proteins and regulating cellular processes. These proteins determine the functions and behaviors of your cells. However, when a gene becomes corrupted or mutated, it can produce faulty proteins, a crucial factor in the development of cancer. Your DNA experiences tens of thousands of mutations each day, most of which are inconsequential or swiftly repaired by the body's innate mechanisms. Nonetheless, accumulated damage can occur over time as cells replicate, much like making copies from copies. Exposure to certain factors such as smoking, alcohol consumption, obesity, carcinogens, or viral infections can further contribute to DNA damage. Nevertheless, it's essential to acknowledge that in many cases, the development of cancer stems from sheer bad luck rather than any identifiable cause. Before we continue, let us know in the comments what brought you to our channel. Perhaps your journey or that of a loved one or just mere curiosity. See our reason in the description below. The rogue cells and their battle. To understand the battle between cancer cells and the immune system, we must explore the critical mutations that pave the way for cancer's inception. There are three primary categories of genes that require corruption for cancer to manifest. First, tumor suppressor genes act as guardians, continuously scanning your DNA for errors and regulating cell division. When these genes become damaged, cells lose their ability to repair themselves and multiply unchecked. Second, oncogenes play a crucial role in promoting rapid cell growth during fetal development. However, in adulthood, these genes should remain dormant. When oncogenes become corrupted, they can reactivate, leading to uncontrolled cell division. Lastly, our cells possess a mechanism called apoptosis, or programmed cell death, which triggers when cells accumulate excessive damage. If the genes responsible for apoptosis become damaged, corrupted cells can survive despite being compromised. When a cell loses its ability to repair genetic mistakes, evades apoptosis, and undergoes uncontrolled growth, it transforms into a young cancer cell. At this stage, the immune system must act swiftly, as these cells are still relatively weak and susceptible to elimination. The immune system's arsenal. Your immune system serves as a vigilant guardian, perpetually hunting down and neutralizing cancer cells. But how does it distinguish between healthy cells and their corrupted counterparts? The key lies in the proteins produced by cells and the story they tell. Your immune system relies on MHC molecules. The MHC grabs onto proteins from inside the cell, breaks them down into smaller pieces and presents these pieces on the cell's surface. If the cell is healthy and functioning normally, it displays normal protein fragments. Imagine this process, like a restaurant displaying its special dishes of the day in a front window. A passerby, or in this case a patrolling T cell, can see what's cooking inside. But what happens if the cell becomes cancerous? As cancer cells have mutated DNA, they produce abnormal proteins. Like a restaurant now serving burnt food or strange dishes, these abnormal protein fragments, when displayed in the MHC window, can signal to the immune system that something is amiss. These fragments can trigger a T cell response, leading to the destruction of the aberrant cell. But cancer cells, the cunning adversaries they are, have developed tactics to subvert this process. They may alter the antigens they present, disguising themselves as normal cells. They could also stop displaying MHC altogether, essentially blacking out their display windows to hide from the immune system's surveillance. Yet, we have an extraordinary ally, the natural killer cell. Natural killer cells patrol your body in vast numbers, seeking out cells that either transformed into cancer or fell victim to viral corruption. Their mission is simple: identify cells lacking MHC, class 1 molecules, the telltale signs of evasion, and eliminate them. Natural killer cells possess an unparalleled advantage. While T cells focus on the presence of unexpected proteins, natural killer cells search for the absence of expected proteins, a powerful strategy to root out potential threats. In essence, cells devoid of MHC class 1 molecules are considered suspicious, as they attempt to conceal something from the immune system. Consequently, the natural killer cells fulfill their duty, ensuring that corrupted cells meet their demise. The ongoing arms race. So, if our immune system is so vigilant, why doesn't it eradicate all cancer cells? That's because cancer is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Cancer cells originate from our own cells and can often fool the immune system. A classic example of this cunning behavior is the PD-1-PDL1 interaction. PD-1 acts as a brake in our immune system to prevent it from overacting and damaging healthy cells. But some cancer cells can exploit this by expressing a protein called PDL1, which interacts with PD-1, causing our immune cells to ignore the cancer cells. Moreover, cancer cells can create a local microenvironment that is immune suppressive, attracting cells such as regulatory T cells, Tregs, and myeloid-derived suppressor cells, MDSCs, which normally function to dampen immune responses and prevent autoimmunity. By harnessing these cells, cancer creates a shield around itself, suppressing the immune response. Why are these multiplying cancer cells lethal? Imagine you're on a road trip and your car is filled with just enough resources, food and water, for the journey. Suddenly, a few of the passengers start consuming more than their share. They guzzle down the water and gobble up the food. That's similar to what cancer cells do. They multiply rapidly and consume an excess of nutrients that are supposed to support all cells. As these hungry passengers hoard resources, the others, our healthy cells, end up running low on vital supplies. Now imagine these same passengers demanding more space in the car. They start to push and shove, making everyone else uncomfortable. That's what happens when cancer cells form a mass, a tumor. As this mass grows, it begins to press against neighboring tissues and organs. Also, just as our unruly passengers might leave the car and create havoc elsewhere, cancer cells, too, can break away and travel to other parts of the body via the bloodstream or lymphatic system, a process known as metastasis. This can disrupt the functions of other organs and lead to further complications. For instance, if cancer cells from breast tumors spread to the bones, it could cause bone pain and increase the risk of fractures. But there is hope. Despite the challenge, we should not despair. Understanding these mechanisms has helped in the development of immunotherapies. Medical science has been making incredible progress, and treatments are getting more effective and less invasive each year. Still, it is a reminder that we should live healthily, have regular checkups, and listen to our bodies, the grand kingdom of cells, always fighting, always surviving. So that's cancer in a nutshell, a cellular rebellion in the body. If you like our video, all we ask is that you watch more of them. It really helps spread the message. The longer you watch, the more the video is recommended to other viewers who might need it. Who knows, you might save a life. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.